Welcome to LollieTasking with ADHD. I am your host, Dr. Lolliday, a multi-passionate mom of three, a physician, and an ADHD life coach because, like most of you amazing women listening, I have ADHD. Join me as we chat about how ADHD affects our lives and learn strategies to help us all thrive, not just survive, with ADHD so we can live the life we want while accomplishing all our goals. Let's get started. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another amazing episode of LollieTasking with ADHD. As stated previously, I am Dr. Lolliday. So I am going to be so vulnerable with you guys today. I had an amazing four-part series done for you guys because May, if you're listening in the future, I'm currently recording in May, is Mental Health Month for Women. And I had it all done and beautiful, and I was so ready. I talked about women, and I'm still going to redo it. I talked about mental health and ADHD and why, again, kind of going back to why we are not really taking seriously, right? And then I also talked about no, ADHD and how hormones in women affect us, right? So that was the second episode. The third episode, I kind of went back to why it's important to talk about your depression and why it's important to have a therapist, in addition to having a coach for your ADHD. Anyway, it was this wonderful four-part series. It took me about maybe 3 hours to record very, very early Saturday morning. I had a busy Saturday morning. And then, excuse me, guys. And then, after doing all my recordings on Saturday, I started cleaning my computer, sorting out. You know how you're in that like mode? Like, I got this. I gotta do this. I was feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. Okay. And somehow, between recording all those episodes and me upgrading my computer, I somehow mistakenly deleted all the episodes. So and the sad part about it is I didn't even notice it till like last night. So after I was done, it was time to go hang out with the kids and do what I needed to do. And then yesterday, usually what I do is I upload it ahead of time. That way by this morning, it is ready for you guys. You have a nice and beautiful episode. Why did I go look for it and I could not find it? No way. I have searched the names. Like, I'm like, wait, did that make up like you know? And I literally was like about to like just like I was so angry with myself, but then I was like, why are you angry with yourself? Like, I mean, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, just take a break, go chill, you know? Don't let this ruin the Sabbath day that you've had for yourself. You had a wonderful day already. Don't let this mess up, you know? And at the end of the day, maybe God did not want you to put that out there. And maybe God wanted you to put other things out there, you know? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to talk to my people. So today I want to talk about the importance of like just taking a break. This is going to be super short because I got to go to work and I am recording literally this morning because yesterday I just had to take a break because you guys know if we continue to ruminate and continue to like negative talk, like it just doesn't make anything better. So I slept on it. However, I had made a commitment to you guys that I would be bringing an episode out every Monday. So, because of my commitment I have for you guys, I'm like, I'm just going to record and talk to my people, okay? So, I want to talk to you about giving yourself grace and taking a break. Life, and which also kind of goes with like, the women, mental health for women. We are so hard on ourselves. We are ridiculously hard on ourselves, especially high achieving type A women, because we have perfectionistic tendencies. We want to be all that we can be. We want to, be excellent in everything we do. However, you can be excellent, but also give yourself grace and give yourself break. Okay, I do this in my coaching program where I tell clients, I'm like, listen, if you don't talk to your best friend, your sister, your mom that way, do not talk to yourself that way. In the Yoruba culture, my family is Nigerian, I'm Yoruba. In the Yoruba culture, we have something called Ori and Eleda. Ori is kind of like your head, figuratively and literal, your head, and Eleda is like your spirit, right? So we believe in that, like, you need to always talk positivity, and you can't, negative self talk has no place in your heart and in your mind, right? If you tell yourself, I'm dumb, guess what? Your mind will take that word because your thought becomes what will eventually happen, right? So don't say you're dumb, you're stupid. You're like, I'm like, why do you talk to yourself like that, right? So let's not do that. Give yourself grace. Things happen. We can't control things that happen. A lot of things that happens are usually out of our control. Whatever you can change, go ahead and change it. Whatever you cannot change, let it go. Okay? So the one big advice I would give women when it comes to our mental health is change what you can, forget what you can't, and don't give yourself don't do the negative self-talk thing. Like, it doesn't help anybody. If anything, it makes situation worse, right? Yes. Fact is, somehow, somewhere, I deleted a whole bunch of podcast episodes I had recorded, which I thought were amazing. But fact, I mean, I can't do anything about it. I mean, I already wasted 2 hours trying to look for it, right? I could take it to a computer person to try to help me look for it. By the end of the day, I'm like, listen, I already wasted 2 hours. It literally took me 2 hours to record this episode. Going to a computer person and da 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 and da da da, that's another 2 hours. So guess what? On another day, not today because I'm busy. On another day, I'm just gonna re-record episodes for the future ones. But at this point in time, the question is, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to cry over spilled milk? Or am I going to, like, just sit down and record a 10 minutes episode for my people to listen to? I thank you guys so very much for listening to these episodes. That it means so much to me that I do not want to let you down. But at the same time, it's important to sit down and reassess things and say, okay, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for the people listening? Am I doing this because of a vision or a value that I've set in place? If that's the case, then keep tracking. If not, maybe you shouldn't do it, right? And don't beat yourself up so much about things that go wrong, especially when they're beyond your control. You know, and if it is something you could have controlled and you did not, so instead of beating yourself up for it, take a step back and say, what could I have done next time to make this situation better? So next time for me, instead of saving it on my computer, I should have saved it on the cloud, right? So those are the kind of things that I would, and mind you, guys, this is not the first time I have deleted stuff, right? Well, no, the first time I did delete it, my computer crashed. That was like 2 years ago. My computer crashed, and I got mad and went and got another computer. Long story, right? But I always have like technology issues, and it is what it is. I'm not being complacent in it. I'm looking at the problem and trying to solve it. That way it doesn't happen again. But there's no point, like, again, cried over spilled milk, especially when it's not breast milk. I have cried over spilled breast milk. And all the moms understand this, especially those first few weeks when you're trying to get your milk to come. And it finally comes and you mistakenly spill it, or you are crying. But there's no point crying over spilled cow's milk, okay? So that's really what I wanted to talk about. Oh, let me see if there's something I could just do offhand. Oh, all right. So you know how I always talk about, it's important to rest, it's important
to uh, realign on yourself. So when it comes to ADHD, it's always important to take a break. And I find that this is something that is so hard to do sometimes, especially when we're in our hyper focused state. But the reason why it's important to like just take a break is because your brain is going 100 miles an hour all the time. So you need that time to just chillax and let your brain rest, right? Let your brain rest. That way, it's almost like if you have a car going, 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 it could overheat, right? You want to stop the car, let it rest. It's so funny though. People think that when they rest, they're gonna miss out on things. But actually there's been studies and research that show that if you keep going with that rest, over time you actually get more tired and you actually don't get as efficient. Okay. So how do you take a break? For me, I love active breaks or meditative breaks. And what does that mean? I don't even know if that's a thing, but that's what I call it. So active breaks is, let's say I have like 10 things to do. I I also have 10 things that I need to do that are not like super important, but it needs to be done. So for example, if I am working in my office, but I've been trying to sort out some paper, my active break will be sorting out those papers. Because a lot of times when I'm working, I'm on my computer, doing things even for my business. I'm just like on my computer, um, but the goal is to like do like short frequent breaks, and what that means is like I love the Pomodoro. I have like even a timer that has like two sets that I could do the 25-5. So the first 25 minutes, I do whatever work I need to do, and then the next 5 minutes, I what's it called? I take a break and sort out the paper, right? And when I'm done with that, maybe the next thing I need to do, let's say I'm at home, I need to fold clothes, right? It's so crazy. Like folding clothes is like such a chore for me. I don't know why. I don't mind washing, I don't mind drying. Well, it's in the washer and dryer, but the folding part is just a lot for me. So let's say I have laundry to fold. So, like, I walk about 25 minutes, I run upstairs and fold for 5 minutes. I consider that active break, right? You're taking a break, but you're also doing something else. And then as soon as your alarm goes back, you go back. I have noticed that when I have active breaks, I actually tend to do a lot of things in a shorter amount of time because I'm literally like, oh my gosh, I only have 5 minutes to do this. I only have 5 minutes to do that. And I do that. Another thing I do is, oh, with active breaks, I try not to pair like two things together. Like, for example, if the work is folded, my second work would not be ironing, right? My break would not be ironing. I like to do like total opposites of things to do. When I'm taking like short breaks, I also try to avoid electronics because we know, at least for myself, I'm not going to speak for you guys. I tend to be very, very, I tend to go down the rabbit hole. So if you know yourself, a lot of things is awareness, right? So if you know yourself, then you know, yo, there's no point looking at your phone right now. It's not time. On my longer breaks, I actually have time inbuilt for like maybe 20 minutes where I can look at my phone, to look at my emails, to look at, whatever, whatever, right? So it's very important to think through that. The second type of break I do is meditative breaks. I tend to do meditative breaks throughout the day, like especially on days when I'm reading echoes or like I'm a cardiologist, I read like echocardiogram. On days when I'm reading echoes for like every like 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 25 minutes, I just take my eyes away from the computer, close my eyes for like 30 seconds or so, and just kind of try to meditate in place, right? I'm not sitting anywhere. I'm literally in place trying to meditate. And the way I meditate, I literally think of myself facing up to the sun on the ocean, and the water is carrying me. And for whatever reason, it kind of gives me a sense of like, like how you have to kind of surrender yourself to swimming. That way you can float. I used to have such a hard time trying to swim. I still can't swim very well. I'm working on it. But my swimming coach was like, you need to surrender to the water. If you fight with the water, you're not going to win, right? So I feel like with meditation, I kind of think of that. Dr. Lola, you have to surrender to the world, to yourself. You need to surrender. So for me, me surrendering is literally just me laying down. I imagine myself on a big open water, just looking up to the sun. I like the sun because for whatever reason, sunlight gives you that like brightness that kind of wakes you up and at the same time kind of calms you down. I don't know. That's how I felt. Okay. So that's meditative break. Another break I tend to take, I do this for my extended break a lot, is just active walking outside break. I don't know. Like I would, if let's say my 2 hours is up, right? So you guys know with Pomodoro, you do 25 minutes, 5, 25, 5, 25, 5. You do that 4 times. And then you have a longer break for about 30 minutes. So for that 30 minutes break, it's very important, especially if you're indoors and especially if you're melanated like me, right? We tend to not go outdoor as much, so we have like decreased vitamin D. So I would usually during that 30 minutes break, it doesn't mean I just go and soak and stand out there, but I literally can say, you know what, instead of getting coffee at my office building, I'm gonna walk across the street by going outside, not going indoor to get the coffee. That way I could soak on some sunlight, you know. And the act of me doing that actually helps me a lot because I'm actively going to get something, right? I don't feel like I'm wasting time. And I come back in time, and when I'm back in time, I re strategize my to do, I realign things, and kind of, get started again. Um, Pomodoro, like, I don't even. I don't know how people work without it. It's something that I do all the time. It helps me. If you don't know what that is, Google Pomodoro, which is like Italian, I think, for tomato. And you can look at the history of it and why it's called the Pomodoro. So, um, I have to go now, but I just want to thank you again for listening to me. Thank you for this impromptu podcast today. I hope you got something out of it. And I hope as women you focus on your mental health this month because it is definitely health. Well, mental health is wealth, right? So your mental wealth. Ooh, I like that. Up level your mental wealth. Okay. So how are we gonna up level our mental wealth this week? We're gonna take breaks, right? We're not gonna do negative self talk. Okay, those are the two things I want you to think about in up leveling your mental wealth. All right. So, just like every episode, I want you to think through what you've just learned. What is that one thing you're gonna do? If it's take a break, then take a break. If it's up leveling yourself by not saying negative self-talk, do that. But I want you to just focus on one thing specifically. Pick whatever it is. It may be the two things I said, or maybe there's something that's like, haha, I'm gonna do that. Okay. So I am so thankful for you to listening to me. And if you want more of this, I have an amazing coaching program called Accomplish with Ease. It's a group coaching program. If you want one on one accompanying that, it's also available for you. So go ahead and click that under show notes. If you want to get more of me, we do this all the time. My podcast is just a little bit of what I do. Okay. So that being said, I just thank you so very much for joining me on another amazing episode of LollieTasking with ADHD. Don't forget to follow me on IG at LollieTasker and also email us at hello@lollytasking.com. And also, please don't forget to leave us a review. I did not give a shout out this morning, but I promise I will give shout outs on future episode. So till next time, remember you can do it too with some planning, a little bit of balance, and a dash of determination. This is Lolly Tasking with ADHD.
Thanks for hanging out with us on another episode of LollieTasking with ADHD. If you like what you've heard today, I would love for you to click the subscribe button, rate, and leave a great review, in addition to sharing with your friends. Your review allows visibility and also allows other amazing women to find this podcast. Also, if you have any questions or topics you would like for us to discuss, please contact me via direct message on Instagram at LollieTasker or email us at hello@lollytasking.com. Till next time, this is LollieTasking with ADHD.